Hi everyone, in this day I'm going to talk about the phonological traits that hinder the effective production of the pronunciation of the English language for non-native speakers of the language. For example, dialects, accents, sounds that are difficult to pronounce, and intonation. But how speaking Spanish influences the correct pronunciation of our second language? The Spanish speakers tend to show difficulties in the pronunciation of English, and these are related to cross-linguistic influence from their native language. The writing and reading system in both languages is different. For example, the number of phonemes is much greater in English than in Spanish. Also, not pronouncing a phoneme exactly as it is in English will be an issue, only if that mispronunciation is different, it's in a different phoneme. For example, the phoneme Z, usually presented with the grapheme S, is very difficult for Spanish speakers. Why? Because the grapheme S in English is voiceless. For example, if a Spanish speaker pronounces the word eyes as eyes, that person is pronouncing the word eyes. Also, in which results in a different lexical item. Also, there are a lot of sounds that are difficult to pronounce for Spanish speakers. For example, short and long vowels. This is a big problem for Spanish speakers because the language doesn't have a distinction between short and long vowels. And they confused the pairs of short and long English vowel sounds. For example, sheep and cheap. Other examples can be pull and pull, and beat and beat. In comprehension and speaking, both. They confuse that. It means that our mother tongue influences in the learning process. Talking about the Spanish intonation, this is a variation of pitch, the pronunciation of words to convey the questions, affirmations, and exclamation. For example, in Spanish, if I say, mi madre está en casa, this is an affirmation. If I say, mi madre está en casa, this is a question. So it means that the difference is the sound. After that, talking about the accent, we know that every country has a different accent. For example, in some countries, people talk more fast than others. An example can be Mexico. In Mexico, people speak more fast than others. Here in El Salvador, in different places, the people don't have the same accent than others. An example can be in San Miguel. In San Miguel, people who live there don't have the same accent than people who live in Santa Ana. And just that. Thank you.